push me to victory. Let's see what we can do together, me and you. Can't be afraid to try.
We're going to be reacting to Commoding Cam's new video of Secret Autobots appearance, including Stephen character, Ultraman. Okay, this is Commoding Cam. Go subscribe to him. The content I do not understand. If I do, I'm a cunt sometimes.
Hello, TFR show with your only host, Comedy Cam. Today I'm going to be talking about Transformers Robots in Disguise Combined Force, most specifically on the new episode, Enemy of My Enemy. Now, not really so much about the entire episode as like its plot and everything. Basically, a sequence what Optimus Prime is describing on all the Autobots who followed him who were actually disbanded by the council and cast them out as sort of traitors. Now, we will be looking at a vast majority of the cards that we do see, like sort of distinguishing on who's who, like mostly characters that have obviously been from Transformers from the very beginning, like Generation 1. Now, I can't go through every single one of them because it is generally hard to sort of tell who is actually who. Some characters are actually just random, and some characters actually appear more than once, you know, just for the sake of that one transition. But some are actually just way too hard to sort of figure out who we could be, like just random sort of character, you know, designs just generated, just thrown out there, just to make the image clear, you know, based on the plot and everything, on all the Autobots that wanted to follow Optimus Prime, but obviously the council didn't accept that. So let's just get straight onto it. First up, we've got RC. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is RC by the design. I know that with RID, they changed a few of the designs up from what the characters were like in Prime, you know, more specifically like Ratchet and everything like that. So just looking at this right now, this is definitely like the design of RC. Who knows if it actually is, but just looking at the crevice and, you know, the blue, it just makes sense if it is her. Moving on, now this is one of the rescue bots. This is Blade. This was actually sort of towards the end of this sort of conversation, so his design is pretty much the same as it is in Rescue Bots. Now I had to shrink this a little bit more for you to sort of see clear. Now that is the shape of Blaster. Now this is clearly Blaster, so it was sort of nice seeing his design pop up again. Now this here, I'm not too sure. I'm just going to go on my head and say this is probably Blue Streak. I don't know, it could very well be different. It's just got that same shape of Prowl and everything, and you know, the side swipe and everything. It just sort of reminds me more of Blue Streak, but who really knows for sure. This right here, as I actually have no clue who this is at all. But it's not Hound because Hound shows up later. I really do not know who this could be. It could be a random Autobot mixture, we don't really know. But share me who you think this could be in the comment section below. Next up, we've got Gears. It's really not hard to know who some of these characters are just based on the designs that pop up. You can just tell they're instantly recognizable from obviously the G1 counterpart. Now this is a more clear up image. This is obviously Hoist. Very much resembles how he used to look. So obviously some of these designs are based off the cards that we did not long ago. But this here just looks like a completely sort of remodel of the character Hoist in RID form. So that was pretty nice. Now this was an interesting one to sort of see. This is obviously Hot Rod, or Rodimus Prime, but it's more likely going to be Hot Rod. He was never really explored throughout the Transformers lore in this particular continuity, because we really got Hot Rod in Smokescreen, really. And as you can see by his design, it very much resembles a bit of Sideswipe and Smokescreen actually itself. Now this is Hound here. This is what I was talking about previously. This is Hound. You can tell it's by the far corner. Obviously, you've got the little cannon thing that you used to have. He's not big and bulky in this world. He's back to his original G1 counterpart. Now, you can't really see this because obviously this is where it actually ends the entire sequence of talking about the Autobots. This is Inferno. Doesn't show the rest of his design, which is unfortunate, but by just looking at it so far, it does actually look pretty neat. Now, this is one of the first ones we get. This is obviously Ironhide. I really like the design. It's very much like the Ratchet design, though, so we can't really see all too much of it, but just by the sort of look and the design, it's obviously Ratchet and Ironhide are, you know, the same mold, so it makes sense for them to sort of be the same. He's easily recognizable as Ironhide straight away. Now this is Jetfire, as you can see with Bright Right. You can just sort of tell, as I always say, these characters, you can just instantly recognize them. They're completely pulled out from G1. Moving along, this is Cup. I like how when he was pushing back, it showed you Cup and Hot Rod actually around the same time. Now this is sort of harder to spot, but this is Mirage here. Very much looking like his original G1 self. Now this design is actually one I would have loved to have seen the rest of it. This is Perceptor. We actually see a little bit more of his actual entire design, unlike some characters which actually cover up the entire frame of that area there. Here we have Red Alert. Now this is one of the designs you get at the very end. Now I do like how we sort of, you know, went traditional with the whole Sideswipe and Red Alert, you know, with the same mold like it was in G1. Obviously the head crevice is a little bit different and he's actually got the cannon on, so that was pretty neat. This is another one that was sort of hard to spot, but as you can tell, this is clearly Sea Spray. Very much looking like his original G1 designs, like all of them are. Now this one is a little bit of a mix. I personally think that this is Skids, obviously from Generation 1, the design of that. I don't think it's anyone else. It is definitely Skids, just by the way how he's molded and that. Now with this one, I know what you might be thinking, but this is Wheeljack, and of course, he's looking a bit more G1 than he actually does look like in Prime. I don't know if his situation's changed anything within Prime. Obviously, we don't know anything about the characters since the last time we saw him. But yeah, no, this design here, it's one of the first we do see, and this is a clear representation of how Wheeljack looks. Now we have a design of Smokescreen. Now this is a weird one. He actually looks more like his original G1 self and his last Prime, sort of design stuff. Because we know Smokescreen switched his colours. The disguise aspect from the plot was going off in Season 3. However, or not, they were paying a real big attention and they decided to just go one big, massive redesign and make him more like his G1 self. Or they just really just pulled the card out, just how he looked in Generation. Next up, we've got Sunstreaker. This was another hard one to sort of capture, just there in the nice corner. What gives us away, really, obviously, with it being yellow, obviously the head crest as well at the very top. This is Trax, and it's very clear by his design, very much looking original. It was nice to see him pop up. Following up from that, we have Trailbreaker. Now, there's not really a lot of different designs to sort of go off on him. He's obviously just the same as he was from really G1. You can just tell by the top of his weapons and that. Now, this one is Ultra Magnus, and he looks a little bit different from Prime. Not all too much. A little bit of changes here and there. But still, he's easily recognisable. Just from the top corner of the screen, this is Wreck-Gar. Now, with some of these, it's hard to tell just because it has that sort of marked cross on it. But with these designs, you can still tell who they are. Following up from that, we have Knockout here, looking very original from his, obviously, Prime design. No much has really changed. We've seen his car a few times throughout the series, sort of as an Easter egg, but now he's actually there in full robot mode. And now we've got Heatwave, another member, obviously, on the Rescue Bot team. So there we have it, guys. They're the characters that I can distinguish from, obviously, the cards.